Welcome to another Divhunt tutorial. Today, we'll talk about overflow properties. We'll take a close look at each of these properties, and by the end of this video, we'll create a hover animation using the overflow property. Let's start by exploring the overflow hidden option. In this structure, I have a div that contains an image. As you can see, this image is larger than its parent div and extends beyond its boundaries. To resolve this, let's select the parent tag and set the overflow hidden option. Now, you can see that the image no longer extends outside of the boundaries of this tag. The overflow hidden property effectively clips any content that exceeds the boundaries of the tag to which it is applied. Now, let's delve into the overflow scroll option. In this example, I will take this paragraph and duplicate its content several times, resulting in a massive paragraph that doesn't look very appealing. However, I need to keep all of this content within it. The solution is not to remove the content, but to select the div that wraps the paragraph, set the maximum height as needed, and you'll notice that my paragraph is now clipped. To fix this, I will apply the overflow scroll property to this tag. As a result, you can see that a scroll bar has appeared on this div, allowing me to scroll inside it and access the entire content. But there's one drawback to this method. If I were to remove a significant portion of the text from this paragraph, the scroll bar would remain, even if it's no longer needed. To overcome this, you can go for the overflow auto option. This will automatically remove the scroll bar if it's not required. If I were to paste more text into the paragraph, it would be clipped and the scroll bar would reappear. Essentially, this option applies overflow scroll to your div only when it's necessary. Now, let's revisit our previous example, but this time, let's select the div that wraps this image. When I click on these three dots here, you'll notice that we have additional options for the overflow settings. We can independently set overflow for the X and Y axis. To illustrate how this works, let's first apply the regular overflow scroll to this div. Here, you'll notice that I have two scroll bars, and one of them is entirely unnecessary because this image is only extending beyond the boundaries on the horizontal sides, or in the other words, along the X-axis. Now, when I reset this and go back to the additional settings and set the overflow X scroll value for this div, you can see that I only have one scroll bar, which allows me to scroll along the X-axis. This way, you can precisely optimize your overflow settings for specific directions as needed. Now, let's explore a few use cases for the overflow hidden option. In some situations, you may encounter an annoying horizontal scroll on your web page, which can negatively impact your site's appearance. This scroll can appear for various reasons. In my case, it's because this image is too large and it's going outside of this section, creating extra space. However, there's a simple fix for this issue. All I have to do is return to the builder, locate the section that is causing this problem, in my case it's the section containing this image, and then apply overflow hidden to this section. Now, when I go to the live site and refresh the page, you'll notice that the scroll bar has disappeared, because everything extending beyond the boundaries of the section is now clipped. For the last example, let's create an animation. We'll take this image, set a hover trigger on it, and make it scale when we hover over it. To achieve this, I will use the transform option and set it to scale. I will use some smaller values in these fields. Now, when I test it out, you can see how this image scales, but it doesn't look very smooth. To make this animation smoother, let's add transition to the image. Now when I hover over it, you can see how the image scales smoothly. To finish this animation and make it look even better, let's select the parent of the image and set overflow hidden to it. Now, when I hover, you can see how this animation works perfectly because this div is preventing the image from going outside of its boundaries. With this example, we reached the end of this video. I hope that this tutorial will help you understand how overflow properties work. Until the next time, happy building!